This is Christopher Moldong of Chris's Storytelling Corner. Today, by request, I'm going to do an anime review for Ruin Explorers, Ihrie and Fam. If you guys want me to review an anime, manga series, manga, movie, make a list, or anything like that, leave a comment or message me. Like I said, I'm doing reviewing reviewing the anime Ruin Explorers because my friend requested it, and thought I'll do it for him. But yeah, feel free for any of you guys to make any sort of request and tell me it through a comment or message me. Next time, I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 37 and 38, an anime review for the Hunter exam arc for Hunter by Hunter, and a movie review for Aquaman. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. I'd really like to hear from you guys as well, so leave any comments. And make sure to subscribe and share this channel as well. So, the way that I'm going to do this is I'll talk about each episode a bit, like give a synopsis on each episode of Ruin Explorers. There's only four, and then give my thoughts on Ruin Explorers, like the characters and just the overall story, and just kind of like the anime during that time. So yeah, let's just get started. Rune Explorers, it's also known as Rune Explorers Fam and Ihrie, is a four-episode 1995 OVA by Animate and Asia Do. It's set in a fantasy environment, and the main characters are Fam and Ihrie, who are two female treasure hunters working to find the ultimate power. Episode 1 is called As I Command Thee, and the story follows Fam and Ihrie, who are searching for the legendary ultimate power, which is said to grant any wishes the finder may have. After obtaining the map from the merchant Galuf, they find the proof of royalty in an ancient castle where they fight off fellow treasure hunters Miguel and Rasha, along with Galuf and his dog, too. The two learn that alongside the proof of royalty, they need the Sword of Sargus and Mirror of Truth to obtain the ultimate power. In episode 2, O Spirits That Reside in the Air, Ihrie scolds Fam for being so slow at memorizing new spells, and it causes Fam to run away on her own. She encounters Lyle in the woods, and pretty much you can tell she falls in love with him. Lyle is also looking for the ultimate power, and the two partner up to find the rest of the treasures. Eventually, though, Fam, Lyle, Ihrie, Miguel, Rasha, and Galuf all end up at a ruined city, which is the location of the Sword of Sargus. However, uh, when they're there, they run into Rugadorul. Um, yes, that's his name, Rugadorul, who taunts Lyle and proves invulnerable to both swords and magic before vanishing, but he leaves a sword behind. Lyle reveals that Rugadorul was once a priest in his homeland, but was corrupted by magic and destroyed the entire kingdom, along with Lyle's fiancée, Maria. This is why Lyle wants the ultimate power. It's pretty much for revenge. In episode 3, Let the Light of Admonishment Shine Upon the Fools. As Ihrie tries to grab the Sword of Sargus, it's revealed that the spirit inside it, Sargus, only lets people who are without materialistic wishes touch it. So Fam is the only person in the group allowed to touch the sword, and her wish is to help Lyle on his quest. She's determined to help the prince, and Ihrie decides to come with them. And since Rasha has also fallen in love with Lyle, which causes a rivalry between her and Fam, she follows them as well and forces Miguel along. Galaf also is in tow, and the group goes to find the Mirror of Truth. Um, However, Rugadorul finds the mirror first, then attacks the group and steals the proof of royalty and the Sword of Sargus. At the same time, it's revealed that Ihrie's magic is the same type as Rugadorul's, and she can actually hurt him and harm him. Episode 4, The Skies, the Seas, and the Woods. Rugadorul is unable to get the ultimate power, as the sword belongs to Lyle as per Fam's wishes. And Sargus refuses Rugadorul's wishes. The group make their way to Rugadorul's castle, and on their way, they find a magical stone where his memories are inscribed. They tap into it, and they see that Rugadorul was corrupted by all the poverty and misery in the land that went unseen by the royal family. They wanted the power to stop it and access the powerful magic hidden by the king. The group break into his castle, and Fam and Ihrie manages to hold him back with their magic as Lyle attacks him with the reclaimed sword of Sargus. Rugadorul is killed, and Lyle begins rebuilding his kingdom as Fam says goodbye and runs to Ihrie. So, before we get into my thoughts on the anime, I'd like to plug my author's website at www.chrismaldon.com, and you can read a new blog post on there every week. Also, if you want a sample to read a sample of my writing, you can read my short story, which actually placed in the Dream Quest 1 contest. Short story is called "The Wizard, the Shadow, and the Tree." It is a fantasy story, not very long, so check it out. Links to read it will be provided on the paid description. Also, do you like anime? Do you like adventure, fantasy, something like Ruin Explorers, maybe? Crazy characters, different worlds? Then buy my book, The Mustard Prince in the Convent Kingdom, for just $4.99 via ebook on Amazon.com or on my author's website. Links to buy it will be provided on the page description. Please also subscribe to this channel, as that would really help me out. So let's just start with the characters. We have Ihrie, who's the sorceress and sword fighter, who acts like a tomboy. She was once cursed as a child. When she is an apprentice to a magician, it causes her to transform into a mouse anytime she uses magic. She wants the ultimate power to lift the curse, get revenge on her old master, and actually conquer the world. So, the thing with Ihrie is that during the time during the time in like 1995, I was watching like Dirty Fair Flash. I was watching what else, like the Gunsmith Cats, a lot of other series. It was not uncommon to have like the tomboy um, female character, and she kind of fits that mold. She's tough. She can fight. She can use magic. She's not particularly feminine. Her thing actually goes into her curse actually goes into a larger narrative that I always think about with Rune Explorers. And I guess I'll just get into it here. It's like, why not continue the series? Honest truth. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you're seeing a lot of reboots of anime. I mean, you have Ushio and Tora, Hoshinangi. Gosh. Just a lot of old anime, and it's getting remade. I think they're going to do like Yu Hakusho. This is one of I never figured out why they didn't do Ruined Explorers. It's just one that I don't know if it's too culty, like it just has too much of a cult fan base or what. But the reason why I mention it, because like by the end of the thing, she's still cursed, and I mean there is a story here about her lifting the curse. I mean really that. They have a built-in story to continue on the series, to get revenge on her old master. I know nothing of her old master, He could be the next villain for all I know. I don't know. She could be her dad. I don't know, Um, could be her brother. I don't know, Like, they can make something up. So, um, yeah, and then you have Femme. She's kind of immature, kind of airhead, real nice, pointy-eared, elf-like, has a cat tail. She's kind of a cat girl, She's a wicked sorceress who calls on the spirits of nature to perform magic, but she doesn't want to use her magic for destructive means because the spirits disapprove of such uses, and the such might not talk to her any longer, and it result in her losing her magic abilities. All these characters I like. I mean, like, it's a weird thing with Ruin Explorers, and maybe that's why it's not talked about so much. And it goes with the series. It's a very solid series, and the characters are all solid. They're all distinct, but like I can't particularly say if they're memorable. Like I've probably seen a Fam and Ihrie before. I have seen them before. In some other anime, and while maybe it's just too short. You can't really get into the backstory. You know that Fam and Ihrie are friends, but like you don't really know how they met or anything like that. So you don't really have much to build upon. I like the character. I like Ihrie. I like Fam. I just there's not much I can really say about her. That I about a lot of these characters. Because they kind of just throw us into the middle of the story instead of some history or show us the beginning, and we just kind of go along from there. Like I said, that there isn't really much to say. Like I like her character. I think she fits well with Ihrie. She's definitely the more fumbler of the two. She fumbles a lot more than Ihrie. She's more feminine than Ihrie. So I mean, there is that contrast, and she's in love with Lyle Reru, who's the prince of the Lost Kingdom, and he's set for revenge against Ruga the Rule. Um, Lyle's pretty typical. I mean, there's not really not much to say about Lyle. He seems like a good guy. Kind of sucks what happened to him. Like, you know, I can see why he wants to defeat Ruga the Rule. Um, and he really is just Prince Charming. I mean, he acts decently. He acts nice. He's nice to the girls. The girls like him. You can see why they like him and whatnot. One woman that likes him, Rasha, who's the other female treasure hunter, who hangs out with Miguel and is the rival to Faminari. Also Sorceress, but does not have a curse or like fear of animosity with the spirits. But she does have a strong fear of mice. And when Ihrie turns into a mouse, that freaks her out. Um, it, it's really tough to say. Like I said, I like every character here. Um, but with and Rasha, I think she kind of stands out a little more because she's definitely more of the aggressive character, and the as far as like trying to get with Lyle and whatnot, she's just more aggressive than, especially in Fam, who she's kind of rivals with, and just kind of goes for it a bit more. And in that sense, she kind of stood out a bit more. I like her coupling with Miguel, who's a swordsman and treasure hunter, who's like vain, boastful, and claims that nobody has ever cut him. And he's also defeated 50 cavalry men at once. I mean, this guy is the muscle. He is the fighter of the. Well, his class would be warrior because fighter is mainly fist. He'd be swordsman or like warrior or maybe soldier. So everyone has their own class. Miguel, I guess, would be. I guess. Well, he's not really a knight. I'd say like Lyle would be closer to knight. He's a little more noble. Um, but yeah, Miguel. There was one really cool part with Miguel where like all these like undead enemies were attacking him. He locks himself in the room, tells them to go, fights by himself against the bad guys, and that was really cool. Like he doesn't. It's funny. Like the thing with Miguel is he never really gets his moments in here. Like he really is just like the muscle of the group and whatnot. But he got that one moment, of the series where he got to look cool. Because a lot of times he just didn't get to look cool. I like Galuff. He's a merchant class, but he'd be more of a thief. He deceives the other characters and just wants to get treasure or money, and he's always followed by his dog Gil. He's cowardly. Only comes with them because He either sees something in it for him or does not want to be left alone in dangerous areas. But he is highly knowledgeable and rather valued by the explorers as a source of information. Galuf was a really funny guy. I mean, there's just something about him, his cowardliness and whatnot, that really stood out. Um, I can always picture him running away. That's his thing. I mean, he can't really fight. So I guess, yeah, he would be merchant class because he's not really a thief, because thief can fight with daggers and whatnot. Um, you know, everyone is like who they are, and they do it well. They do it solidly. Ruga the Rule, the main antagonist. He's a powerful magician that ruined Lyle's kingdom and is out to obtain the ultimate power. Um, the thing with Ruga the Rule is one, his name is hard to say. I don't know why they named him Ruga the Rule or Ruga the Roo. Um, they did manage to insert his tragic backstory in there, which is really good. Um, it's really interesting though, and once again, why they need to continue the series. Why Ihrie's magic can hurt Ruga the Rule. I don't really get that. Um, it's I remember they showed his past. I think there was like some orphans there. I don't know if Ihrie was one of the orphans. It's really tough to say, but at the end of the day, you know how powerful he is, and then you know, he is bound to lose at the end, and that it just kind of ends in a happily ever after. It's 4 episodes. They're all solid. Um, like I said, I may have said like they're not particularly super memorable but characters, but everyone is a very defined character. Um, and there is more potential for like more story here as well. I think one thing that really hurt one thing about Rune Explorers is like no one's heard of it, and I think it also came out around when Slayers came along, and Slayers was the fantasy action adventure RPG like uh, fantasy anime out right now that was really during that time that was just really popular, and this really played like second or third fiddle to it. It's really funny because like I probably watched Rune Explorers like in the late '90s, and early 2000s or something like that. And I remember, oh yeah, this is it's good, it's solid, And I watched it pretty recently. I bought it and I watched it recently, all 4 episodes. Like, man, by today's standards, this is really good. I mean, back then, this was just okay. Yeah, solid. Solid story. Fun. Today's standards, because everything it doesn't try to be anything that it isn't. That's the thing. They go to these ruins. It's all action, fantasy, adventure. Everyone's a defined class. There's a defined antagonist. There's stakes involved. Everyone has some form of stake involved as to why they want to get the ultimate power. We do get enough backstory to know everyone's motivations a bit. That can be dwelled on if they made more episodes or something, continued on with the manga or something. Um, and sometimes anime these days, sometimes you just don't get that, and it's very interesting that you can get all that in 4 episodes. You know, this isn't a particularly like deep or like you don't have a Lena inverse. Gowry Gabriev, like in Slayers. You remember those characters, and some of the storylines were actually really good. This one's like pretty cut and dry in a sense. It's pretty meat and potatoes. I don't mean that in an insulting way. It does its job. It's just fun fantasy, and honestly, like I think there's a lot more potential for the story. That it's paced well. That there are some times when they have like big action, and then they calm it down, and then they have like some big action that happens and whatnot. A lot of things happen in this. There's only 4 episodes. A lot of things happen at a very, it's well paced, which is good. I mean, you only had the 4 episodes, and they, like I said, they crammed a lot. They didn't really cram it. They fit a lot into 4 episodes where you just kind of get everything. Um, I think there is a world to explore. Um, they only went to like one kingdom. You know, like Lyle's kingdom. That's it. I mean, there's a bigger world there. Out there. There's a curse that needs to be lifted. Um, so I like Rune Explorers as a standalone story, but it always I think one of the biggest problems, it always feels like uh, one stop in a bigger narrative, and that bigger narrative was never told, and I think it does need to be told. What they did fit in is good. You got to see the ruins. You got to see you got the bad guy who was invulnerable for like very tough to beat. Um, you know, the exploration, the party, everything you like about RPGs is in this or in these 4 episodes. You got the group, you got the party. Each of them has a class. You developed certain relationships. You understood some of the relationships between the characters. Um, there were different lands. There is some like crazy magic and whatnot. Um, so I mean, it pretty much feels. It's funny at times. That there. You have Galuf, who's like a comic relief character. There's some funny things that like most characters do. You know. So yeah, it's all there in the 4 episodes that you're given. And like I said, I'm just going to repeat myself. I think there really is more story to tell. I think that the standards for back then, stuff that was good back then, are probably great now. Um, it like I said, it wasn't like, like I said, like Slayers overtook it as far as like the main RPG action adventure um, that was available during the time. But like what they had to work with, and the story they had to tell was done really well. It's just a solid story, and yeah, I'd recommend it. I give it a solid like B plus. It's not an A per se. It's just too short. They're just, and like I said, there's just a lot more story to tell. But what they do have, everything's solid. That's the thing that I can give Ruin Explorers. It's just a really solid, well done anime. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel. Thank you for listening to this anime review. Next time I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 37 and 38, an anime review for the Hunter Exam arc for Hunter by Hunter, and a movie review for Aquaman. Thank you, and until next time.